we have a group that just launched that I just want you to hear about what their experience has been. And so we have Geoff and Rachel coming up. Where are you at? There you are. And they're going to come up and just share. Recently, they've launched a group. And how did they go about launching it? And what the experience has been so far. So Rachel, what got into your head about, in the busyness of life, wanting to launch a group?
Well, Geoff and I, last spring, were sitting in that section right behind you, and we were listening to the teaching, your teaching and the whole pastoral team's teaching on the value of doing life together as Christians, and also the value of really deep relationships between Christians and non-Christians. And you issued a challenge. You said, if you feel called, do it. And I was like, that's me. I feel called. I know we're called. But then my conversation with Jesus really became, I get it. I see the vision. Seek ye first. I see it. But have you looked at my calendar? Where is it going to fit? Between everything that was going on in our life, it didn't really make sense to me, but I started praying, Lord, you can part the Red Sea. I know you can make space in our lives to make this happen. So please, if you open a door, I'm happy to walk through it.
Awesome. So then what happened next?
Well, we went ahead and we launched a community group with the mission of getting our hands dirty in people's lives that we come across. And Geoff and I had come across a family in Wilsonville. Fred and Esmeralda are in a charitable organization with us. We're both members of the same food team. And so we've had a chance to get to know them over the last year. And Fred has had some major health issues. He's had a massive heart attack. He lost his job because of it. He's the patriarch of a multi-generational family. So there are 3 generations living in their 2 trailers in Wilsonville. So watching them struggle, Geoff and I wanted to know what we could do to help them. And Fred told me that they had been planning to replace the roof on the small trailer just because it wasn't watertight anymore and it wasn't going to make it through the next winter. And I thought about that and I thought, well, I know what we can do. I can volunteer Geoff to help.
Love it.
Which we've done some very small service projects in the past. And yes, Geoff had re-roofed a little before this, but not very much. And we started to share sort of what we wanted to do to help Fred and Esmeralda with our community group. And it was great to see the enthusiasm spread and the fire spread for the project and have our friends in our community group have their hearts turned towards this family's situation that they didn't know. They had never come in contact with Fred and Esmeralda, but they could see what could be possible. So we all started praying as a team, and everybody on the team took a little chunk. We had people writing letters to the big box home supply stores. We had people talking, trying to find donations of materials and money. And long story short, our efforts were coming up dry. Even though we thought our hearts were in the right place. We're going to do this project, and aren't we wonderful? And nothing. So our project date of September 1st came and went, and we did not have a single donation. I had to apologize to Fred and say, we don't have the supplies right now, but we're going to keep praying because we know that God has those supplies, and he can make it happen. And Fred was sort of like, yeah. God, I'm sure your God can bring me roofing supplies. That's great. So I did what I could do, and I walked away into back to school week. And I don't know if you remember back to school week, but I don't, because it was a tsunami. It was a blur of activity. And I get this text on Thursday, busiest day, from my friend Julie Capone. We have the roofing supplies. And I said, oh my goodness, how did that happen? And long story short, God really, he opened the floodgates. And from Thursday morning, where we didn't have a single supply donation, to Sunday evening, those 72 hours, we got all the roofing materials, God assembled a crew, and gave us the strength to put 2 hard days of work in to re-roof their trailer. And I just thought it was interesting that the way God orchestrated it, it was very clear that it was not because of any one of our efforts. None of us could take any glory in it. It was totally like, wow, God is good, and he is.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, Geoff. So God answered the prayer and provided roofing materials. And so now it was like, here's the ball. Build the roof. How'd that go?
Okay, so we crawled up on this roof, and Fred's roof was in really, really bad shape. You could see it right there. We knew that with fall coming, that we were in a race against the rain, so we had to get the job done. The project itself presented some unique challenges in that first we're a new community group, and we really hadn't had a chance to develop a deep sense of each other yet. And then I had some personal anxiety myself with several major components of the project. The first being the ins and outs of the actual putting on a roof. I don't have any real expertise in. The physical requirements of putting on a roof. And then finally the actual sharing Christ with Fred and his family piece was a piece that was sort of overwhelming to me as well. So I had all these anxieties, and I get there, and I found out that God had it all covered. We have one of the members of our group is a former contractor, so he had all the expertise to put a roof on. Two of the members of the group are sorry guys, athletes, so they had they had the strength to carry the 70-pound tiles up and down the ladders. And then finally, one of the members of the group has a heart for evangelism and was able to share Christ explicitly with Fred and his family. So there we were up on that roof, and we worked together for 2 days, and we learned about each other while working in our gifts, and we were also able to explicitly share Christ with Fred and his family.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So just summarize. I mean, what did that... So you're launching this new group, and the first thing you do is you're just missional together and loving people in your community. So what did that do for your relationships?
Well, I know that it changed my heart, and I'm certain that it changed other people's hearts because I'd spoken with them about it afterwards. The morning following the roof being completed, I laid in bed. I woke up, and there was a window open right next to the bed, and a breeze was rolling in, and I could feel, I could smell rain outside. And I felt a great sense of satisfaction knowing that that roof was on that house, and it was all sealed just in time. And I spoke with some other members of the group, and they'd also had that sense of satisfaction as well. So we're all really eager to do something like this again soon. I think that if you are living missionally and you let God lead, it's authentic and it's attractive, and the movement of Christianity is therefore it's able to move forward if you live it and you share it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing your story and for stepping out in faith. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys.